We asked a group of our most experienced teachers of Big History, what's the most important thing a new teacher should know when starting to teach the course? Not surprisingly, they had a lot to say. Most of it followed a few key themes. First, you can't know everything in the course, so get ready to learn along with the kids. Second, create a plan and stick to it. Third, focus on the big ideas rather than trying to fit in all the little details. And finally, the course is fun, and the course can be hard. But rather than tell you what they said, let's hear what they had to say for themselves.
New teachers need to be comfortable not being the expert in the room. It's such a freeing experience to be able to tell your students that you're going to serve as their facilitator of learning, but you're truly going to be learning alongside them. If you want to talk about creating a culture of learning, simply making that statement changes the very fabric of every classroom. Kids buy in from the beginning because they feel like they're equals, and it's a space where mistakes are both accepted and expected from everyone.
Don't try to teach the course in its entirety from the Big Bang to the modern era. History is the only subject matter that gets longer every year. New content is added literally every minute. Teach the big concepts, historical thinking skills, periodization, cause-effect relationships, questioning, and use the Big History Project as the vehicle for supplying the content that makes these skills happen.
Don't give up. There were several times my first year I wanted to throw in the towel. I was getting pushback from administrators, other teachers, parents, and students. But the more I taught BHP, the more I firmly believed that it was what my students needed. Your first year will probably be a thankless one. But you know what? You'll be surprised by how many of those students come back to you and visit and thank you for putting them through that, as well as parents, so hang in there.
Always remember that the most important thing about Big History is the story, the narrative, and how each threshold builds upon the next in terms of increasing complexity. And stick to your course plan, or you won't be able to get through the course in its entirety. While it's very tempting to talk about how stars formed or how life evolved in depth, if you get lost in the content for one unit, you'll end up spending less time on Unit 10, which is one of the most interesting and exciting ones to cover.
The course incorporates the past, present, and future in its design. It requires participants to formulate strong questions and models a process of historical inquiry in which you pose a how-why question, conduct research, formulate a strong thesis statement, and support the statement with evidence.
This course is really fun. You'll really enjoy coming to work each day that you get to teach this course. Your students will find the course fun as well, and they'll also enjoy coming to class each day. I get to teach about exoplanets, the origin of life, the extinction of dinosaurs, the expansion of the universe, and the invention of agriculture, among other things, all in the same course.
The most important thing you need to know is that you don't need to know or even pretend to know everything. Big History really does require you to be a facilitator of learning, as opposed to the arbiter or owner of knowledge. An open-minded and flexible teaching approach will allow you to join your students on their journey while guiding them through the narrative, the thresholds of increasing complexity. Use the opportunity of teaching Big History as a way to break down the traditional silo mentality of disciplines and subjects in your school. Collaborate with other staff where possible, and draw on the expertise of your wider school community. Challenge and encourage students to ask questions. Explore their own inquiries and enrich the Big History narrative with their passions and personal experiences. Embrace failures and share your successes with others.
Don't worry about knowing all of the content. You don't need to. Show students how to find the answers to the questions they ask. You know the saying, teach a man to fish.
You don't have to be an expert in all fields to teach this course. Know your discipline. Familiarize yourself with the others. You'll be fine.